Um,
I'm going to call the meeting to order. The Township of Black River Matheson acknowledges the Apatippi and Sinipec Nation traditional territory. We live, play, and work here together, and together we shall build a strong and inclusive community. A reminder to all in attendance that council meetings are recorded and made available to the public on a township website for review. Confirmation of agenda. I need a mover and seconder. Councillor Schmidt and Councillor Campbell.
Can I read the motion, Madam Chair?
Yeah.
Was moved by Councillor Schmidt and seconded by Councillor Campbell. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular council meeting of January 23rd, 2024 be approved as printed.
All those in favor? Oh, Councillor Diamond.
Thank you,
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair. Sorry. My question would be for Clerk Treasurer. Is there a way we can, rather than replacing an agenda with a correction? And in the fire department, we have to cross out initiative, sign it. Is there a way we could leave the original, say it's an agenda, can we leave the original agenda and put in the second agenda? The corrected one? Because to me, I don't know if something was changed from the first agenda to the other agenda. Other than type, it's a resignation letter, but if there was an error and it was corrected and you want to dive into it, you'll never see what that error was, right? In a financial report, let's say
Okay.
you made a mistake, you pull out that agenda item, you fix it, you put it back. If you haven't printed that agenda, you'll never see what was originally there.
Yes. Like for council, yes. You can go back to the original agenda that was sent to you.
No, it links to this one. Links to the one that we're going to use tonight.
Okay, so I'm not sure what's,
Leave the original agenda there with the error.
is that what you're wanting?
Well, I think, isn't that proper to, I always thought it was proper
Well, it
to,
was just, I don't think there's a practice for it. I found an error. I doubled the memo and just removed the memo.
yeah,
and
I
typed
know
it.
that. I just meant for future, if, let's say there was a financial issue, a dollar amount that was incorrect. You pull that out and you put it back in.
Okay. Like it hasn't happened, but okay. I'm not sure what is council, what the council.
I don't, I'm just asking, is there a practice on it? So the practice is just to replace it at all times?
No,
Okay, that was it.
okay.
All those in favor for the confirmation of the agenda? Any disclosures of pecuniary interest and general nature of? Don't see any. Okay, we'll move on to adoption of minutes. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Gadry.
Can I read the motion, Madam Chair?
Yes.
It was moved by Councillor Gadry and seconded by Councillor Schmidt. Be it resolved that the following meeting minutes are hereby adopted as printed. Minutes of a regular council meeting dated January 9th, 2024. Minutes of a special council meeting dated January 11th, 2024. The minutes acknowledged are minutes of the Black River Matheson Public Library Board meeting of January 8th, 2024.
All those in favor? There's no consent agenda. There's no delegations. We'll move on to new business. I need a motion, mover and a seconder. The agenda item is the correspondence from the owners of A&G Fresh Mart and the Everything Store regarding the LCBO depot. Need a mover and a seconder. Council Greenman, Council Gadry.
Can I read the motion, Madam Chair? Yes. Moved by Councillor Diamond and seconded by Councillor Gattery, whereas council received the correspondence from the owners of A&G Fresh Mart and the Everything Store concerning applying for an LCBO depot at one of the stores. And whereas the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario licensed these requests. And whereas the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario has reached the maximum number of 450 grocery store licenses in effect at one time as set out in regulation. Therefore, be it resolved that council supports the endeavors of the business owners and encourages them to apply with the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario. Everyone, oh,
Chair, just, is this in conflict with the present LCBO building, or is this to replace the present LCBO building?
if I can, if it's not to replace the current LCBO, would be for the owners to also be able to sell alcohol there. So council has nothing to do with it. They have to get their license through the HCO. All this motion is that you support a local business owner in getting that permit. However, as the motion reads, they've already reached their max capacity of permits. So even them applying, it's going to remain in the queue for some time.
All those in favor? That's. We're going to move on to the library board member resignation letter. I need a mover and a seconder. Councilor Neal, Councilor Schmidt.
Can I read the motion, Madam Chair? Yes. Was moved by Councillor Neal and seconded by Councillor Schmidt. Whereas council accept with regret the resignation of Gary Edwards from the library board effective January 23rd, 2024. And therefore be it resolved that council direct the clerk to advertise for the vacancy for the library board.
Yes, Councilor Gattery.
I'm a little bit disturbed by the letter, to be honest. Wasn't any kind of accommodation offered to this person?
You have to speak with the library board representative.
He just said that again, he was having some difficulty with hearing. And so he thought it was best if he were to step down. So he said his hearing aids actually don't help in the meetings. And so it's again. He seemed like he pretty well desired that it was time for him not to be on the library committee. He'd still be attending the library to use their books, computers, but as far as he just felt it was time for him to step down.
All those in favor? Notice of motions, notice of motion proposed by Councilor Diamond regarding the budget timelines. I need a mover and a seconder. Councilor Neal, Councilor Gattery.
Can I read the motion, Madam Chair? Yes. Was moved by Councillor Neal and seconded by Councillor Gattery. Be it resolved that council directs staff to bring back a staff report with the following suggested changes to incorporate into the 2024 budget policy.
I need a mover.
Yeah.
Anybody want to speak to that? Councilor Diamond?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to, I don't want to go down the same road we did last year, so I want to know when we will have a approved budget. I'd like to know what our steps will be in getting to the approved budget. I would like to propose that we take the 3-4 days meetings we have on half mornings to afternoons to go over as much detail as we can in this budget, because I don't feel comfortable passing an $11 million budget based on 15 items. I'd rather have the details so that when I do get the question that I'm prepared to give the proper answer. So that's what I want to know. And furthermore, if we pass a budget in July, that does no good for roads, does no good for purchasing equipment, for snow plows, for calcium, all that stuff. So we need to step up to the plate and I think get this budget out. We need to go over it. We need to have a public meeting and then approve it as soon as possible. So I don't know what steps we need to do, but it's my opinion. If we do it late in the year, it's just a waste.
I know they're very short staffed, but maybe Madam Clerk can clarify on that a bit more. Council, you want to comment more? Anybody else want to comment on that?
I agree with Councillor Diamond on that point for sure, because I understand there's pressures, I get that, but this is very important because everything centers around our budget. And we need time to make an informed decision.
Anybody else want to speak to it? I'm gonna speak to it. I know, like. Oh, Councilor Vino, sorry, apologies.
So, sorry. Yeah, I think we need to, this is something that should be as a priority. And again, if as council members are willing to put the time in and make sure that it happens. Whatever inconvenience that is for us, but again, make sure that we can help out to get it done. Get it done as soon as possible, so we don't end in like last year, where we go late in the year, and then that made it difficult for a lot of us.
I agree, we can't wait till July, but I do understand that our clerk treasurer has her hands full. We have some reports that are completely done, that we need that funding to pay for payroll and all that. We've been working around, we have NPF and another one, I think, that's behind that we may lose. President, so there's a few things, I'll speak to it. Here.
Okay, so council will let me speak to it. So I recognize there's a problem. I don't know what council wants though as a solution other than providing you with a budget. I'm one person now in the office doing the job of 3 people. And now the assistant to the recreation director is running the front counter. So I'm already working 6 days a week, averaging 10 to 12-hour days, and I now work on Saturdays. And I still can't get to your budget. So I'm not sure what like me. There are certain things that can't be put aside. Not only that, it's the beginning of the year. There's also billing to be done. So there's source deductions to be written, WSIB earnings to be done, pension remittance to be done, invoices coming in every day, payroll every 2 weeks. So I'm doing all that. There's no one to take it over. Recognize there's also a shortage of accountants. So council's aware we just lost our auditors because they no longer have accountants. They've had to actually let go of 10 of their 12 municipalities because they don't have accountants. I reached out to other accounting firms. They can't send a body. They can only do it online. That's no good for our office. There is a semi-retired treasurer that I've managed to speak with. But because other municipalities are also short-staffed and they don't have a labor interruption, they've thought on that there's this floating treasurer around, and now they've picked them up. So I can completely appreciate that we need to get a budget done. But I don't have any solutions for you.
To the clerk treasurer. I don't know if this would break any kind of procedure, probably, but again, so I'm just wondering, is there any chance even to get a print off of different departments and the amounts where council could get together with, even if we had someone else to sit in, like we've had before from the clerk front of the place, just to go over numbers. Where again, we're not making final decisions, we're just trying to look at what's upcoming and make a guesstimate. I know that again, some of the board members I have, we do ours, but I give the board the numbers and then look at what things we need to do, and then the final decision happens in a meeting with everyone together. Because then that way you wouldn't necessarily have to be a part of those meetings. I don't know if that's possible, or is that not procedurally allowed?
It's council's procedure. If that's what council wants to do, what you have to appreciate though is whomever we bring in, they're not familiar with the records. So they still will be asking me questions.
Okay.
Questions are one thing, it depends how much of the time they take. I'm going to throw a suggestion out there. I know it's not a popular one. I had asked council last quarter, last year, if you would consider going to 1 meeting a month. So just hear me out, okay? Because you're bringing up an issue. So we do need to find a solution for that issue. And for example, we've had a council meeting today. Tomorrow I'll be doing the minutes and the action items. On Thursday, I'll be back to doing accounts payable, journal entries and online payments, possibly tax certificates and ownership changes. On Friday, I have to start building the council package again for the meeting coming up in 2 weeks. I'll probably be working on Saturday to finalize it so that it can be ready to be sent out next week. That's the only part of my current clerk treasurer job I'm doing, because everything else I'm doing has to do with the positions that are either part of the labor interruption or not in the office at the moment. If council would entertain maybe going down to 1 meeting a month, that may help me, because the time that I would take to prepare your package would be the time I would take to do your budget. That's what I would replace that time with. So really, that would give me 4 days every 2 weeks.
I think it's a good idea myself, as in just my opinion. For now, until she catches, until everything's caught up, then we do have a timely delivery of our budget. Yes, Madam Clerk.
So at the same time, so while I've reached out to KPMG, Kemp Elliott and Blair and MNP, I've also stumbled across a bookkeeper that, and again, council appreciate, we're in a labor interruption, so not everybody is willing to, if you will, cross that line. This individual potentially is willing to cross that line. They're a bookkeeper, so that's fine. They could take over the things that are needing to be done in a weekly or bi-weekly or monthly basis, and that would relieve some time. But I don't have that person in place yet. And if that person comes, gets in place, and council thinks about having a meeting once a month, I can get a budget going, but then I can't promise you when the budget's going to be prepared for you, when it'll be ready. Yes, Councilor.
Madam Chair, to the clerk treasurer. Should the strike finally get settled, and people come back to work, how would that change timeline?
The timelines would be changed. Quite frankly, they come back to work, they know their job. They come back to work and I let them do their job, I get back onto my feet.
So if that were to happen,
Mhm.
what's the timeline then that we would be able to have a budget ready to look at least preliminary?
If all I do is that, I'm like, except if I can, so if all I do is that, like, if we can happen in a month.
So do we wanna make a motion to drop the council meetings for now, till once a month, till she's caught up, or unless she gets that accountant?
So if I can, Madam
Yeah.
Chair, so you have a motion on the table, okay? What you're proposing is a completely different
Oh,
motion than what's on the table. So I may need to reread the motion. Okay. And again, council is more like, if you need time to think about it, we're gonna have another meeting in 2 weeks. So we can always defer the item. You can remove it from the table, or you can vote on it. Or amend it, but let me reread it for council. Moved by Councillor Neal and seconded by Councillor Gattery, be it resolved that council directs staff to bring back a staff report with the following suggested changes to incorporate into the 2024 budget policy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm willing to wait to see if the bookkeeper comes to fruition. And I'm sure the next 2 weeks, we're gonna be talking about an email that I got today, so, or yesterday, whatever we got it. I'd like to wait and defer.
So defer it?
Yep.
All those in favor, Madam Chair? So Councillor Diamond, are you deferring it?
Yes.
So you need, I need a seconder, Councillor Neal. Then the second. Okay, so can I read the motion, Madam Chair? Yes. It was moved by Councillor Diamond and seconded by Councillor Neil that council defer agenda item 8A to the February 13th regular council. Those in favor?
Okay, next motion, notice a motion proposed by Councillor Diamond regarding the Zoom closed meeting security. I need a mover and a second here. Councillor Neil and Councillor Schmidt.
Can I read the motion, Madam Chair? Was moved by Councillor Neil and seconded by Councillor Schmidt. Be it resolved that council directs staff to bring back a staff report with the following suggested changes to incorporate into the updated procedural bylaw.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 10 years ago, we didn't have Zoom meetings, we didn't have Teams meetings, we had nothing. You couldn't make a meeting, you weren't there, so. I think the Zoom and the dial-in meetings were meant for, the COVID era. And we're through that now, so. I look at my emails that I get, and I look at the reports that we get, the closed. Everyone has to do with leaks and this person talking to that person and so on and so forth. And I'm sure we're all tired of hearing this leak. So what this proposal is to get rid of one hole in the dike. So if you're not able to attend a Zoom meeting where we can confirm that you're nowhere around other people, that's the way it should be, because as our CEO said last week, it could be a criminal offense or it could be an offense if you're in a room with other people. By then it's too late. So my proposal is that we don't allow Zoom meetings for closed meetings. If you want to be here, make the effort. If you can't, well, so be it.
So just for the close or for the whole meeting itself?
Just, well, the open is open, right? So we can have an
Yeah.
open meeting here, but for the closed, if you can't attend in person and confirm that you're not going to potentially be a leak, then I think we should just get rid of it. These constant emails and reports about leaks is too time consuming. It's a waste of time.
Anybody else want to speak to this?
If I can. Has council looked at section 2.22 of your current procedural bylaw? So it speaks to electronic participation. This is about your current procedural bylaw. And your current procedural bylaw, although we've been meeting in closed, which is permitted under the Municipal Act, it actually stipulates you can't meet in closed via Zoom. So you can participate in open via Zoom, but we also then have some, what's the word I'm looking for, some conditions. You can't basically abuse it. You can only participate in Zoom and open. I think it's twice every quarter, and it can't be back to back. But anyway, those are the open meeting rules. Your current procedural bylaw speaks to it already, that closed meetings, you have to be here in person, because you can't do it through Zoom. So if council's okay with it, your current procedural bylaw speaks to this current issue. It is permitted, what you have been doing is permitted because the Municipal Act allows you to do it, which that's the piece of legislation you're governed by. But if you want to be more stringent, you already have it in place.
And I'm sure then how do we enforce it? We obviously we let it slide, right?
It's not that it wasn't let slide, if you will. The last council had passed a motion that they wanted to continue with it. We haven't brought back a procedural bylaw with that in it. And because legislation permits it, you're not doing anything wrong. However, at this point, it's up to council. If you don't want to permit it, moving forward now, we passed a motion that you're going to start following section 2.2 of your procedural bylaw. Recognize, after we pass the motion, council should just reread that piece because it does speak to then the open meetings. But remember, you also have the suspension of your procedural bylaw for your open meetings. So if need be, there's a storm and no one can come in, suspend that section and everyone can do it through Zoom. The open meetings.
Is everybody in favor of that? Go back and we'll work those meetings. Okay. Have a vote on that? Everybody in favor? We'll vote just begin with that. May I read the motion?
Can I, from a procedural perspective, can I ask council, can we just with 2/3 consent, remove the current motion from the table and put a new motion on the table that council starts following section 2.22 of the procedural bylaw?
Okay, you ready to vote?
It's 2/3 agreed, everybody agrees with that? All in agrees?
Need a mover and a seconder for the new motion, Council Gathering, Council Council.
Can I read the motion, Madam Chair?
Yes.
Was moved by Councillor Gattary and seconded by Councillor Cancel that council enforce section 2.22 of the procedural bylaw for electronic participation in relation to open and closed meetings.
All in favor? Okay, we're gonna move into reports. I need a first report is gonna be from the Chief Administrative Officer, monthly report. I need a mover and a seconder. Council Schmidt. Council Gathering.
Can I read the motion, Madam Chair?
When she's done.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Schmidt and seconded by Councillor Gattary, be it resolved that council receive report CAO 2023 as information. Neil?
Yes, Madam Chair. On the CEO's report, if you go right to the very bottom, it's the fourth further that. It's got further that the township of BRM undertake its own examination of financial problems that plague the township. Can that be removed?
So, Councillor Neil, that motion, when I table that motion, we can remove it. Yeah, Yeah.
I just look,
because that's a long motion I'm about to read.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, you can amend the motion in any way you want. Okay, all those in, Councillor Gattary?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't know, I have some questions, but also they can't be answered. But, perhaps our treasurer may be able to answer. First off, this is for the period ending November 30th. So this is a 2-month-old report according to the first page.
Yes.
And so the agenda date is December 12th, which it's not, it's, okay. And then it's got, there's submitted by Chris Ray, the town manager, which he's not. But can someone talk about this internship program that's in there, or do I have to defer that question to?
If I can, Councillor Diamond, if you have questions, I'd rather we just defer the report so that you can answer questions.
Okay.
Defer the report. And we could be able to talk to,
And we can remove that comment from Councilor Neal at the same time?
we can, so we can still pass that motion in relation to the OPF. Or you can, because I haven't tabled that motion yet. The only motion on the table is just you accepting his report. Okay, so if council even wants to defer, then the other motion I'm going to table, you can as well.
So again, I don't mind deferring it and removing it at the next council meeting, but I mean. I just think that when I read that, it does, that's again, something, when I look at how busy everybody is, that's just another thing to chase, and I don't think that's gonna help us as a township undertake its own examination. I don't think that's helping us at all. I think we all know the financial problems that people are facing. And even upcoming things with bridges and everything else that's gonna go, so. I think that's kind of just a time killer. So I'm trying to avoid extra work for something that really isn't gonna help us move forward, so.
If I can, I think the idea behind the motion was to start just lobbying in relation to the OMPF. That was the basis of the motion. The details of it, though, again, we can remove it. but it's not the one that's on the table right now. The motion on the table is just accepting.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Okay.
And I was thinking, Madam Chair, I'd like to just move to defer it then, so we can get straight answers from CEO.
Everybody else, I need a seconder. I need a seconder for that. Mr. Schmidt? Can I read the motion, Madam Chair? Yes. It was moved by Councillor Diamond and seconded by Councillor Schmidt that council defer agenda item 9A to the February 13th regular council meeting. All those in favor? So now, Madam Chair, it's the second motion that went with the CAO's report. That has to do with the OMPF. Just so for council to know, if you're going to defer this motion, we just have to table it first, and then you can tell me to defer it.
Okay.
All I ask is if you're going to defer it, can you tell me before I read the whole thing? Everybody in favor of deferring it? Okay. Being deferred. Need a mover and seconder. Can you move our seconder, Councilor Neal? I read the motion, Madam Chair. Moved by Councillor Neal and seconded by Councillor Diamond, that council defer the OMPF motion to the February 13th regular council meeting. All those in favor? Move on to the fire chief monthly report. FC 2023 11 and FC 2023 12. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Neal. Councillor Cancel. Can I read the motion? Yes. It was moved by Councillor Neal and seconded by Councillor Cancel. Be it resolved that council receive report FC 2023 11 and FC 2023 12 as information. All those in favor? Next is item C, Library CEO Monthly Report 2024-1. We move her to seconder, Councillor Neal, Councillor Schmidt. Can I read the motion? Yes. It was moved by Councillor Neal and seconded by Councillor Schmidt. Be it resolved that council receive report 2024-01 from the library CEO as information. All those in favor? Okay. Item D, Municipal Compliance Officer Report, MC O-2024-01 regarding appointment of Chief Building Official. Need a mover and a seconder? Councilor Gattery. Councilor Neal. Can I read the motion, Madam Chair? Yes. It was moved by Councillor Gattery and seconded by Councillor Neal. Be it resolved that council receive report MCO 2024-01 as information. Councilor Diamond.
Madam Chair. I don't know who to address my question to. Anybody? Okay. I'll ask my question anyways, and then it's out there. And then we'll have to defer it, but just two questions. Number one, two comments, but something was issued to all properties in Hillsborough. So I'm very curious as to, now that was in Chris's report, but it still does with the municipal compliance, but every property in Hillsborough got a warning. I'd be curious to know what the warning was to every property. Second off, this internship, I have an issue with Because our compliance officer is very close to his full salary. And we want to make him a chief building official and hire or obtain the service of a deputy chief building official so that he can do the chief building official duties. So I want to know, one, is the training being done on taxpayer time? The books and the training all be done then. I'd like to know, is intern, paying for the intern? Because when we did the budget, we had a salary and we had a truck, and now we have this extra cost of be more insurance, and we'll have intern, and we have, the minute we go CBO, then his wage should go to the full wage, and we're still paying town of Timmins $40,000 for their services. So our budget for chief building official compliance officer is 150% of what we had indicated. So those are my two questions that I'll put out there, and we'll just defer it because
I
it's a
cannot,
bit of a year.
Madam Chair, can I just ask, so Councilor Diamond, are you deferring it?
Yeah. Yep.
I'll need a seconder. Can I read the motion, Madam Chair? Yes. It was moved by Councilor Diamond and seconded by Councilor Schmidt, that council defer agenda item 9B to the February 13th regular council meeting. All those in favor?
Okay, move on to verbal update from Councilor Diamond regarding the Abitibi River System Advisory Committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We haven't had a meeting since. Nothing to report.
Okay. Up next, a verbal report from Councilor Neil, Accessibility Advisory Committee.
Haven't had a meeting this year.
Excellent report. Verbal update from Councilor Neil, Council Recreation Ad Hoc Advisory Committee.
We haven't had a meeting, but we've been talking about trying to plan.
Verbal update from Councilor Diamond, Bingham Memorial Hospital.
The first meeting, years to morning.
Oh, okay. Verbal update from Councilor Schmidt from the Chamber of Commerce.
There's no update.
No update. Next one's from Mayor Bender to Cochrane, Lisa, but he's here to do his verbal report. Verbal update from Councilor Neil regarding the library board.
Yep, just that, again, that Gary had resigned, and I would like that we could have some record of appreciation for his service on the library committee.
Next, verbal update is from the CEO and he's not here. Verbal update from Councilor Gattery, Perk Pine Health Unit.
We should have a budget by the end of this month,
Okay.
and the merger's still in.
And a verbal update from Councilor Campbell, Senior Advisory Committee. No updates? Yep, that's it. All right, so we're gonna move into the bylaws. Bylaw number 2024-05, being a bylaw to appoint chief building official for the township of Black River Matheson. I need a mover and a seconder. Councilor Neil, Councilor Gattery.
Can I read the motion, Madam Chair? Yes. It was moved by Councilor Neil and seconded by Councilor Gattery, that bylaw number 2024-05, being a bylaw to appoint a chief building official for the municipal corporation of the Township of Black River Matheson be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed this 23rd day of January, 2024.
Continue.
Yes, Madam Chair. Because of the item D that we did about municipal, this should also be deferred until the next meeting as well.
So, Counselor Neil, you'll move.
I'll move it, yeah, it'll be deferred.
I need a seconder. Counselor Diamond.
Can I read the motion, Madam Chair?
Yes.
It was moved by Counselor Neil and seconded by Counselor Diamond that council defer agenda item 10A to the February 13th regular council meeting.
All those in favor? Carried. Okay, next bylaw. Item B, bylaw number 2024-08, being a bylaw to establish a recreation ad hoc advisory committee in terms of reference. Need a mover to seconder. Counselor Neal and Counselor Schmidt.
Can I read the motion, Madam Chair?
Yes.
It was moved by Counselor Neil and seconded by Counselor Schmidt that bylaw number 2024-08, being a bylaw to establish a recreation ad hoc advisory committee and terms of reference be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed this 23rd day of January, 2024.
Do you have comments or questions? All those in favor? Carried. Okay, next item, bylaw number 2024-09, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of January 23rd, 2024. I need a mover and a seconder. Counselor Diamond, Counselor Neal.
I'll read the motion, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Moved by Counselor Diamond, seconded by Counselor Neil, that bylaw number 2024-09, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the corporation of the Township of Black River Matheson be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed this 23rd day of January, 2024.
Yes, Madam Chair. Because of all the deferring things that we've deferred, is this actually something we should be accepting? Or should this be deferred as well?
All this bylaw is confirming what you have done at your meeting, okay? So it confirms your deferrals.
All those in favor? Carried. Okay, there's no unfinished business, so we're gonna move on to other business. 12A, 2024 Phenom registration. Need a mover and a seconder.
Can I read the motion, Madam Chair?
Yes.
It was moved by Counselor Schmidt and seconded by Counselor Diamond. Be it resolved that council approve of the following members to participate in the 2024 Phenom Conference.
I'd like to go for the. Everybody's in agreement with that.
Want me to reread that?
Yes,
Moved by Counselor Schmidt and seconded by Counselor Diamond. Be it resolved that council approve of the following member to participate in the 2024 Phenom Conference, Counselor Rondo.
All those in favor? Item B, outstanding action item list from council meetings. I need a mover and a seconder. Counselor Schmidt, Counselor Gadry.
Moved by Counselor Schmidt, seconded by Counselor Gaddery. Be it resolved that council receive the outstanding action item list from council meetings up to January 9th, 2024 as information.
Anybody have any questions? All those in favor? Any questions?
I'm just looking at it still, when we look at the ones that have been done, like due dates and all the ones that haven't been done. I mean, I thought the purpose of this was actually to help us catch up on some of this stuff. And most of this, who is responsible? Is the CEO responsible for most of these updates?
Right now?
So it's been broken down between who's responsible for which
Yeah.
items, right?
Yeah, see, I know your part. I just talked about the beginning for the office of CAO.
Yes.
For those three things. So, I mean, at least there's some done in your section, but for the,
Oh, actually, if I can, so, sorry, so maybe this should be set up differently, because actually what's left in my section, these are still everything outstanding. Anything I've completed, you no longer see.
Yeah.
So maybe we should change the format, because this is what I have not completed. So, and again, I was just saying, so even if I haven't even been able to complete these items you've asked me to do.
Yeah.
So what I can do is moving forward is actually then put another column to show you and leave the items that have been completed, because this could be misleading. Anybody else? All those in favor? Carried. We have a closed session, we have a business arising from close, moving on to adjournment. Yes. Need a mover and a seconder, move to adjourn. Counselor Schmidt, Counselor Gathering. Moved by Counselor Schmidt, and seconded by Counselor Gathering, that this regular meeting of council is hereby adjourned at 7:15 PM. All those in favor? Carried. Thanks, Jane.
No, I'll do whatever.
We do it all day, just right click, create. Like whatever comes in, just domain. If you go into a pen, I don't get it.